Hello there. Giorgia Meloni is an Italian Prime Minister visiting the US President Donald Trump. But Meloni must represent the European Union first and foremost, even if it hurts Italy. The Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, is in Washington, D.C. to meet the US President Donald Trump. So you would think she would be pushing Italian interests hard to try and maybe get a favourable trade deal with the US to offset all those nasty Trump tariffs. But no, that is not within her power. She can go and talk nicely to Donald and make a friend. But only her bosses in Brussels can forge any trade deal with the US. And that deal will be the same for all 27 European Union member states. And that deal will not reflect the member state that Donald Trump views most favourably. No, it is far more likely to reflect which state he thinks has been fleecing the US for the longest. The only thing that Meloni can hope for is that some of the things her country exports to the US will be unique enough on the EU export list to attract lower or zero tariffs. Otherwise, the whole lot will be wrapped up into the EU 27 member state trade deal. If, and it is a big if, there is an EU-US trade deal. And while that goes on, our own PM Keir Starmer is trying to forge deals with both the US and the EU. And my view is that in the final analysis, he will have to choose one of them. But which one? Now, there seem to be fears in the Brussels and wider EU hierarchy that Trump might want to try and somehow peel Meloni away from the rest of the EU in order to split and weaken the EU's negotiating position. The French Europe Minister, Benjamin Haddad, said, "If you go to the United States scattered and divided, do you think you're stronger than if you go all 27 with 450 million people? We'll see what she has to say. There can be discussions. However, it's in our collective interest to have a united and firm response rather than divisions." Not a lot of trust there, is there? And even in Italy, the leader of the Azione centrist party, Carlo Calenda, said, "The point is, what will she do when she gets to Washington? Trump will try to split Europe. We will see if she is a leader who can maintain a united European front or whether she will surrender to Trump's flattery and sweet talk. It will be a tough test." Although some do see her as some sort of Trump whisperer, who can use her nationalist and populist credentials to form a close relationship with Donald Trump to push the EU agenda. Not sure the US president will be taken in by that, though. As far as Brussels is concerned, the only needs Italy has within a trade deal are exactly the same as EU 27 needs. It doesn't matter what Italy itself thinks it wants, because Italy will be bound by the EU treaties it has signed up to. It would be oh so much easier for Meloni if she wasn't tied into that. But she is. And the only horse trading that matters will go on within the EU 27 after the EU Commission has completed its negotiations with Donald Trump, if they even get that far. Finally, please like, subscribe and comment below, and thank you for watching.